And look, D-Mac, you know me. You know where I stand. I am a Steve Yzerman fan. I'm not somebody who's here like in the chat that I saw earlier where they said Yzerman's numbers should be pulled down from the rafters, the dead wings, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going there, everybody. That's a little aggressive, and I mean like a lot aggressive. And I'm not going to do the hope and fear to you. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit here and talk to you like I'd be talking to D-Mac if we were out at an event or sitting at a baseball game between innings, or if I was with my buddies having a beer or whatever. That's how I always talk to you guys. So anyway, with that being said, D-Mac, you think there's something else coming? I want to give you this statement. And I want your reaction.
I think Spenny thinks there's something else.
There has to be.
I mean, there's got to be. My statement is that if it's gonna be by looking at what's in the bank account, right? Flexibility, but be prepared that it's gonna be like a trade. It's got to be more of a trade than it is a signing, because I don't see that guy out there that's gonna do everything that you need or you want or what this team needs. I know you mentioned a Jason Robertson. I don't see him signed yet or whatever like this, Spenny, but to me, that's not the one answer. You know, he could be one of a couple of them, but I think, you know, it's more of a deal to be made, and maybe it's not. Like, what happens if he doesn't make another move, or who is that move for? So I just don't think that he's got as a lot of options, and with what the options that he's done, I think he's done a good job, because getting Tarasenko out of here is a big thing. Like, he's got to do better with his NHL stars. We can agree that he can draft guys, and that's a great tool, right? When we talk about Brad Holmes, we say that he can do both, right? Talent evaluation, and also too, ain't afraid to draft an injured guy or whatever. Well, Steve Yzerman can draft guys and develop guys, and we see that slowly but surely, right? Not as quick as we want, but slowly but surely. And there's one that we're dependent on coming over that was drafted a couple years ago, right? That we're hoping to make a splash to make it different in the Sand Pelicans. So I just think, like, until it's done, I don't understand why everybody's wasting your energy. And whoever said that thing about show me how idiotic you are, but it shows me how frustrated somebody is.
No,
right?
and look, D-Mac, I want to give this statement, kind of where I stand on it right now, and I want your reaction to it, D-Mac. I am probably a little more patient with Yzerman than most, and I will freely admit that, and I will freely say that. I look at the resume of what he's done in the past. I look at what he's meant to this organization. I look at all that, and all that plays a part. Whether you want it to or not, all of it plays a part. And I will say this. I also feel that way probably because I think I have a bit more of a grasp of what he walked into than most. Is that fair?
I would 100% agree.
Yeah. And somebody
you
said
made
earlier,
it apparent to I would be more upset if I didn't understand the financials, because you've explained them and the mess. Right? It's like the ball of yarn that was tied together. It's like it's the worst messed up fishing spool.
No, and it is. And look, with that being said, to me, like, year one was not year one. Year one was year -2 or -3. Because you had to do roster deconstruction and organization deconstruction to get down to the foundation to then start to acquire talent through the draft. Because remember, and again, and I'll say it, I don't give a shit if it makes you mad or not. When he walked in the door, Franz Nielsen, Justin Abdelkader, for one that asked earlier, Jimmy Howard, Darren Helm. You roll those all together, $18 million of cap space with years left. And your best prospect in the system was Philippe Zadina. By far, he was the best prospect. Am I lying about any of that?
No.
That's what the reality was. So that's a baseline, and I can say that. And had to restock the system, all of it, and that's fair. Now, I will say this, D-Mac. for the first time, I do feel as though there is some urgency now. You had linear progression. You quote unquote took us a little bit of a step back last year. So now something's got to give. Now I will say this: I am not going to be held hostage by NHL free agency or trades that are going on around me or anything like that. I'm not. But I need something. You get where I'm going here? I need something. Whether it's ASP, whether it's a Nate Daniel, what I see you shaking your head, Spenny. I need someone up. If it's not going to be through that, then I need something. I need something to believe in.
ASP and Danielson are not ready for the NHL.
And I'm not saying those guys in particular.
Yeah.
I need something. Give me someone.
Can I interest you in James Van Riemsdyk?
No, I'm not. No, come on.
And
We're going to get to that later.
Yeah, not saying that that's a bad that's a fine sign. It's a good
it's
signing.
$1 million, and it's obviously locker room. And,
that's a good signing. But
for $1 million,
you need more. And like I said,
of course.
I was freaking out yesterday because I still believe it's going to happen because with the money that they have, like Stevie's not just going to bank that and go buy a Ferrari or something. Like they're going to spend that money somehow. They have right now $15 million still in cap space.
Yeah, they're top 10.
They have an offer sheet out there for Soderblom. That's probably going to knock $2 million off of that. So you'll still have enough money to get 2 impact players.
And I like it. Lock him up. He's done.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's fine. Re-signed Soderblom. They re-signed Berggren. Maybe he's going to be a part of a trade going forward. They re-signed Aljo to a 2-year extension. They brought in a couple AHL guys and a 6th or 7th defenseman. And then they brought in James Van Riemsdyk. And I like the James Van Riemsdyk contract for a 1-year guy for someone who you want playing on your 3rd or 4th line.
I wish we had him 6 years ago.
Right now, he's looking like a 1st or 2nd line forward with the team you've got going out there right now.
And that's fair.
And that can't happen. But
by the way, a member of Patrick Kane's draft class.
Yes, and you re-signed Patrick Kane. And I liked the deal for Patrick Kane because you got rid of Tarasenko. And if Patrick Kane can play that Tarasenko role where he's on the 3rd line and he gets power play minutes and stuff like that, and he's not really a hamper to you in your 5-on-5, okay, awesome. But like we said, we need the pieces to be put in place ahead of them. They haven't yet happened yet. I still believe they're going to. But like I said, now it's kind of much like last year where you had all of your chips in the Trouba basket or whatever, and that didn't work out, and then you're sitting there with dick in your hands. So something needs to happen. I do believe something's going to happen. I don't know what it is, because Keandre Miller just went for a hefty price.
That's coming up next.
So we'll see, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, Woodward Sports Super Chat, Ryan's reaction. If you don't mention who you're replacing Stevie with, then your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a monarchy. Remember, Queen Elizabeth II was like 65 years. I mean, tell me who the replacement is if you're so mad that it's going to be, because it's not. So please move on and let's just wait and see. It's okay. I mean, I don't blame anybody for being frustrated and stuff like this, but Neil, you said it before, is that you see the path, and it's just harder. But it seems to be able to make a splash or do whatever, you're gonna have to make a bigger trade and get rid of somebody that you thought might have been here or that you had it on in order to bring somebody back. A la what Florida did. It just seems like that's today's NHL. You got to make a move to get that guy.
And I think a lot of people are frustrated, but they mistake it for wanting to fire Steve Yzerman. I think you can be frustrated. You can want them to make a move, but still be frustrated and upset that we haven't done anything yet because, yeah, the options are dwindling quickly. And that's where the urgency comes in. They have to make a move before all of the relevant options are gone. Every team is looking to get better this offseason. You have to as well. And that is where I am critical currently, is because every team is making a move but us, and that is dwindling the options that are good options in the trade market.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Nerf, Ken Holland has never been a good GM, and he left a mess for Yzerman.
He's leaving a mess in L.A.
Yeah, look, he was at that time with the way the NHL was at that time. And it's easy to say, well, you got an open checkbook, go to work. It's not that easy. It's not. And, Scotty and this guy, Scotty Bowman, and this guy to the left of me will tell you all about. It's not that easy, dude. It's not. And I give him credit for it, just like I give Phil Jackson credit for being a good coach, because it's not easy to deal with that kind of locker room and do all that. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Harvey Wallbanger, we have the top 2 picks from 2007 in 2025. That is funny. I don't care who you are. That is funny. Cody Engel, is that what you really said when he was hired, Neil? Were you honestly thinking no playoffs for 7+ seasons? It's cool to back Stevie, but what did you honestly think when he was hired at the time? What have I been saying, D-Mac, from the moment I got here and you and I started doing this show together, and I said, guys, we don't understand the wreckage that this franchise is. And I said, and we're never going to admit, and you want it? Like, if you want the truth of it, we were one of the worst organizations in the NHL. We were in the worst shape of anyone in the NHL. Like, people want to talk about the Canadians. They had just had a Stanley Cup Finals run, and they had some bones left. And they had like guys like Suzuki and these other guys that have come up and are stars now in the league. They had that. We literally had nothing. So no, Cody. And I'll say this too. 2 years ago, they won more games than a team that got in the playoffs. I didn't flip out about the fact that they didn't make the playoffs the way everybody else did, because it was literally the same. Like, the Capitals came in, got dusted in 5 or whatever it was. It was literally the same. So Cody, I kind of hold that. I wasn't flipping out and losing it about it. I wasn't. But I'll meet you all in the middle. Something's got to do here. Something's got to happen here this offseason. It does. So I wanted to get a baseline. Tristan, Berger was never right. Dude just doesn't have game.
I mean, yeah, we know what Bergeron is now. Like, he's had enough time to try to develop and try to be something more, but he hasn't. So, like I said, the re-signing to Bergeron, I believe he's going to be used as a piece to move to try to get somebody else. We'll see what happens, though. Again, you're waiting on a lot of things. Hopefully, they have to do something. They literally have to do something.
I can't. And again, I'll reserve the right of judgment. I need to see somebody from somewhere, be it within the organization, be it through a trade, be it through free agency. And look, they didn't do the DeBrincat thing right away on July 1st.
No.
So July 8th.
July 8th it was? Okay. So, all right, let's do this. Let's take the break. And when we come back, we're going to do real-world Red Wings trade application. For all the people that are jumping up and down and screaming and hollering, and I'll use the people in this room, because these are hockey people I trust. Because you actually, watch games. You know what channel it's on. All of that. So, all right.